Hello students, let us start today with chemical bonding and molecular structure. To start with, let me define about a chemical bond. The attractive force which holds various constituents, atoms, ions, etc. together in different chemical species is called a chemical bond. So to define chemical bond, you will write the attractive force which holds various constituents, that is atoms, ions, together in different chemical species is called a chemical bond. We'll see here how to write the Lewis symbols. So in the formation of a molecule, only the outer shell electrons take part in chemical combination and they are known as valence electrons. The inner shell electrons are well protected and are generally not involved in the combination process. G.N. Lewis, an American chemist, he introduced simple notations to represent the valence electrons in an atom, and these notations are called as Lewis symbols. So let us take the example how to depict the Lewis symbols for an element. We start with lithium element. Lithium is having one valence electron in its outermost shell, and this is how we write the Lewis dot symbol for lithium, one dot on the top. Beryllium, two valence electrons are there in its outermost shell, so we represent it by two dots on beryllium element there. Boron is having three valence electrons, so three dots. Carbon, four dots. Nitrogen, five dots. Oxygen, six valence electrons are shown. Fluorine, 7, and neon, 8 valence electrons are shown in the form of dots. And neon attains the noble gas configuration there, and it has completed its octet. Kosel, in relation to chemical bonding, drew attention to the following facts. The first fact was, in the periodic table, the highly electronegative halogens and the highly electropositive alkali metals are separated by the noble gases. The second point, the formation of a negative ion from a halogen atom and a positive ion from an alkali metal atom is associated with the gain and loss of an electron by the respective atoms. The third point, the negative and positive ions thus formed attain stable noble gas configuration, and the noble gases, except for helium, it completes its duplet, all have a particularly stable outer shell configuration of 8 electrons, that is octet is completed with the configuration ns2np6. The next point, the negative and positive ions are stabilized by electrostatic forces of attraction. Let us consider an example of sodium chloride here. Sodium is having an electronic configuration of Ne3s1. It loses one electron and sodium goes to its ionic state by loss of one electron, Na+. That is, it attains the configuration of neon. Cl, it gains one electron and goes to Cl in its minus state. Cl is having an electronic configuration of Ne3s2 3p5. And Cl minus, it attains the configuration of argon, that is a stable configuration, Ne3s2 3p6. These two ions, Na plus and Cl minus, combine with one another, resulting in the formation of NaCl, that is an ionic compound. And these two are sodium ion and chloride ion are held together by electrostatic forces of attraction. Next we come to octet rule, and according to this rule, atoms can combine either by transfer of valence electrons from one atom to another, that is by loss or gain of electrons, or by sharing of valence electrons in order to have an octet in their valence shells, and this is known as octet rule. Next, you should know what is an ionic bond. It is the electrostatic force of attraction which holds the array of oppositely charged ions together, and it is formed by complete transfer of electrons from one atom to another. Covalent bond. It is formed by mutual sharing of electrons, and it is also the force of attraction between two atoms. You can see the covalent bond between two chlorine atoms resulting in the formation of chlorine molecule. Each chlorine has completed its octet by sharing of one electron, and thus resulting in the formation of Cl2 molecule, and a single covalent bond exists between two Cl atoms. Take the case of water, H2O. Hydrogen has completed its duplet. Each hydrogen has completed its duplet, and oxygen has completed its octet. Take the case of CCl4 molecule. Carbon has completed its octet by sharing of electrons, and Cl also has completed its octet by mutual sharing of electrons. Carbon dioxide, CO2. You can see the Lewis structure, dot structure of a carbon dioxide molecule. There is double bond sharing between C double bond O and C double bond O, both on the left as well as right hand side. And double bonds in carbon dioxide molecule, each element is attaining its noble gas configuration by sharing of electrons. This is covalent bond that is formed between carbon dioxide molecule. Then this is C2H4 molecule, ethylene, ethene you can say. Two carbon atoms are held together by double bond, and each are able to complete their octet. Hydrogen is able to complete its duplet. This is how you'll show C2H4 molecule. Two nitrogen atoms are held together by triple bond, and each nitrogen is able to complete its octet, forming nitrogen molecule. C2H2, two carbon atoms are held together by triple bond, and thus they are able to attain their octet, and each hydrogen is able to complete its duplet. Now there are some rules to represent the Lewis representation of simple molecules and ions. Understand this concept carefully. The first rule is calculate the total number of valence electrons A after subtracting for the cation or adding for the anion. So first step is calculate the total number of valence electrons. If it is the case of cation, you need to subtract the charge which that cation carries from the total number of valence electrons. And if it is the case of anion, you need to add the charge to the total number of valence electrons, and thus you get the value of A. Second rule, calculate the number of electrons for complete octet of all the atoms. Means each atom that is present should complete its octet, and you need to calculate the number of electrons for complete octet of all the atom. That is the value of capital N. Third rule, calculate the number of electrons present as shared pairs by subtracting A from N. That is S, that number of shared pair of electrons, is equal to N minus A. The fourth rule is draw the skeletal structure to represent the shared pairs. And the last rule, complete the structure by representing unshared electrons. Means you calculate the value of U there. U equals to A minus S. So following these rules, we can draw the Lewis representation of simple molecules and ions. I'll show one or two examples to you. Look at the question. Draw the Lewis dot structures of the following. There are 8 structures which you need to draw. Carbon dioxide, HCN, CO3 2-, carbonate ion it is, SO4 2 minus, sulfate ion, nitrite ion, nitrate ion, ozone, and carbon monoxide. Let's discuss one or two among it. Now, to draw the Lewis-Dawes structure for carbon dioxide, calculate the value of A. A is, you need to calculate the valence electrons of each element that is present. That is 4 plus 6 plus 6. 4 is the valence electron of carbon and 6 is the valence electron of oxygen. Since 2 atoms of oxygen are present, 6 into 2, 12 plus 4, 16 electrons. So we get the value of capital A equals to 16. Then you will calculate the value of capital N. N stands here for complete octet of all the elements, means carbon completes its octet. So we take the value there as 8. There are 2 oxygen atoms that are present. Each oxygen atom completes its octet. So 8 into 2, 16 plus 8, total 24 electrons. Then you will calculate the value of S, that is shared pair of electrons. That is equal to N minus A. That is 24 minus 16 equals to 8 electrons. Hope till here it's clear. So we calculate. Fourth is, we need to calculate, draw the structures of then we'll draw the structure of carbon dioxide, the fourth step, and we write it in this way. C on the middle, oxygen on both the sides, left as well as right side. If you put single bond on both the sides, one bond represents 2 electrons. So you will put here single bond, 2 electrons, here also single bond, 2 electrons. So 2 plus 2, 4 electrons you are showing shared. But you need to show 8 unpaired electrons. So you'll put double bond, C double bond O on the left hand side and C double bond O on the right hand side. And then count the number of shared pair of electrons. One bond shows 2 electrons. So 2 plus 2, 4. 2 plus 2, 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8 shared pair of electrons. This is the skeletal diagram you have drawn. Then you will calculate unshared pair of electrons, that is U. U equals to A minus S. A value is 16 and S value is 8. So 16 minus 8 is 8. So you need to show 8 unshared pair of electrons. So here you will show carbon, since it has completed its octet. So the unpaired electrons, that is the non-bonding electrons, will be there on oxygen atom. So here you see 4 electrons are already present on oxygen. It needs 4 more to attain its noble gas configuration. So we put 4 non-bonding electrons on oxygen atom on the left hand side. Also, we put 4 non-bonding electrons on the right hand side. And this is the actual Lewis representation of carbon dioxide molecule. Hope you have followed. Let's go for the next. HCN molecule. A, you will calculate the total valence electrons is equal to, hydrogen is having 1 valence electrons in its outermost shell, carbon 4 and nitrogen 5. So 1 plus 4 plus 5 equals to 10 electrons. Similarly, you will calculate the value of N. Each will complete its octet except for hydrogen. Hydrogen will complete its duplet. So hydrogen 2 plus carbon 8 plus nitrogen 8. Total 18 electrons. Then you will calculate shared pair of electrons S, that is equal to N minus A. 18 minus 10 equals to 8 electrons. Then you will draw the skeletal structure for HCN molecule, HCN. Since there are 8 shared pair of electrons which are present, hydrogen has completed its duplet here. So we need to put triple bond between carbon and nitrogen. So total number of shared pair of electrons you count, 2, 4, 6 and 1 bond here, that is 2 electrons, 8. So this is the skeletal structure showing the shared pair of electrons. You also need to show unshared pair of electrons there, U. U equals to A minus S. that is 10 minus 8 equals to 2 electrons. So we draw the structure of HCl, and these 2 electrons, unshared pair of electrons, are present on nitrogen because hydrogen has completed its duplet, carbon also has completed its octet, nitrogen needs to complete its octet. So we put the unshared pair of electrons, 2 bonding electrons on nitrogen atom. So this is how we'll draw the HCl molecule. Hope it's clear. Next we come how to calculate the formal charge on the compounds which are given to you. So to calculate the formal charge, firstly you should know the definition of formal charge. The formal charge of an atom in a molecule is defined as the difference between the number of valence electrons of that atom in an isolated or free state and the number of electrons assigned to that atom in the Lewis structure. So it is expressed as formal charge equals to total number of valence electrons in the free atom minus total number of non-bonding electrons minus half the total number of shared pair of electrons. I repeat, formal charge equals to total number of valence electrons in the free atom minus total number of non-bonding electrons minus half the total number of shared pair of electrons. That is how we calculate the formal charge. I'll show you how to do the calculation. First, let us know how to draw the Lewis dot structure for ozone molecule. So firstly, we'll calculate the value of A, that is total valence electrons which are present on this molecule. So 6 valence electrons are present on oxygen atom, 3 oxygen atoms are present, so 6 into 3, 18 electrons. The value of A comes here to be 18. Then you will calculate N, that is each atom which is present will complete its octet. So 8 into 3 oxygen atoms are present, 8 into 3 equals to 24 electrons. Then you will calculate the value of S. S is equal to N minus A, which is equal to 24 minus 18. That is, gives you the value 6 electrons. So you will draw the skeletal structure for ozone molecule, 1 oxygen in the middle and 2 oxygen on the lower side. And you will put double bond on any side, either on the left or either on the right, and one of the single bond on the other side. So here I have put double bond on the left hand side and single bond on the right hand side, showing 6 shared pair of electrons. So you can see 1, 2, 3. 3 bonds are there, and 3 bonds means 1 bond represents 2 electrons. So total 6 shared pair of electrons are present. Then you will calculate unshared pair of electrons, that is U. U equals to A minus AS. That is 18 minus 6 equals to 12. So you need to show 12 unpaired electrons on oxygen atoms there. So you will write the structure, the skeletal structure, and you will see that each oxygen atom should complete its octet. So look at the oxygen atom 1. I have taken the top one, middle one as oxygen atom 1. On the left hand side, oxygen atom 2, and the right hand side, oxygen atom 3. So since this is having, oxygen atom 1 is having 6 shared pair of electrons, it needs 2 more to complete its octet. So I have put here 2 non-bonding electrons on oxygen atom 1. On oxygen atom 2, already 4 shared pair of electrons are present. So we'll put 4 non-bonding electrons. So 4 plus 4, 8. On oxygen atom 3, 2 shared pair of electrons are present. It needs 6 non-bonding electrons more to complete its octet. So we put here 6 non-bonding electrons. And this is the structure of ozone, Lewis representation of ozone. Now we'll calculate the formal charge on each oxygen atom. Firstly, we'll see the formal charge on oxygen atom 1. To calculate, you'll see how many valence electrons are present on oxygen atom. It is 6 minus number of non-bonding electrons that are present. It is 2 minus half the shared pair of electrons. That is 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6. So see here, this is the formula we'll use. Formal charge on oxygen atom equals to total valence electrons minus total number of non-bonding electrons minus half the total number of bonding electrons. Total valence electrons on oxygen atom are 6 minus total number of non-bonding electrons on the middle oxygen atom. I showed you it was 2 minus half into total number of bonding electrons, that was 6. So we get the value of formal charge on oxygen atom 1 as plus 1. Similarly, we'll get, this was oxygen atom 1, middle one. We'll calculate on oxygen atom 2, lower one on the left hand side. So total valence electrons are 6. Non-bonding electrons, you can see 2 plus 2, 4 minus half the shared pair of electrons, 2 plus 2, 4. So this gives you the value 0 there. And formal charge on oxygen atom 3 is equal to total valence electrons are 6 minus, you can see the non-bonding electron 6 minus half into shared pair of electrons 2, and we get the value there as minus 1. Hence, we represent ozone along with the formal charges as shown in this diagram. So you can see how this diagram is depicting. Ozone, oxygen is there in the middle, that is carrying positive charge with two non-bonding electrons. Oxygen 2 is neutral and oxygen 3 is carrying minus charge with it. So this is how you'll calculate the formal charge on the molecules that are asked. Next, we come to the limitations of octet rule. Although this is useful, octet rule, for understanding the structures of most of the organic compounds, and it applies mainly to the second period of the elements of the periodic table. There are 3 types of exceptions to this octet rule. The first one is the incomplete octet of the central atom. So here you see the examples: lithium chloride, beryllium hydride, and boron trichloride. Lithium, beryllium, and boron are having 1, 2, and 3 valence electrons only, but they are not able to complete their octet. The central metal atom is not able to complete its octet there. And this is the limitation of the octet rule. Then odd electron molecules. In molecules with an odd number of electrons like nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide, the octet rule is not satisfied for all the atoms there. So nitric oxide, you can see NO, and nitrogen dioxide, this octet rule is not satisfied. So this was the limitation of octet rule. The third limitation is the expanded octet. So here in this expanded octet, I give you an example: PF5 phosphorus pentafluoride, SF6 sulfur hexafluoride, and H2SO4. You can see phosphorus is having 5 electrons in his outermost shell, and as a result, when on sharing, you can see 10 electrons are present around the phosphorus atom. Similarly, if you take the case of sulfur, sulfur is having 6 valence electrons in his outermost shell, and 12 electrons are present around the sulfur atom. Similar is the case in H2SO4. There are 12 electrons which are present around the sulfur atom, and this octet rule does not apply in these cases. So this becomes the case of an expanded octet. These molecules are stable in nature, but this was the limitation of octet rule. Sulfur also forms many compounds in which the octet rule is obeyed. In sulfur dichloride, the sulfur atom has an octet of electrons around it. So you can see sulfur dichloride, SCl2 molecule, and sulfur atom is having its octet complete there. Let us look at the other drawbacks of the octet theory. It's clear that octet rule is based upon the chemical inertness of noble gases. However, some noble gases like xenon, krypton, they combine with oxygen and fluorine to form a number of compounds like XeF2, KrF2, XeOF2, etc. This theory also does not account for the shape of molecules, and it also does not explain the relative stability of the molecules being totally silent about the energy of a molecule. So here we complete with the drawbacks of the octet theory. In the next lecture, we'll see some of the terms which are related to the bond parameters, and then after we'll be dealing with the theory, VSEPR theory, VBT and MOT theory. Thank you, children, and have a nice day.